Hello everyone and welcome to Silent Hill 4 The Room. Now, if you want to watch a playthrough for your first time where you're going to go through all the story and stuff, that is not going to be this playthrough. I'm going to actually skip all the cutscenes that I can and just play through pretty casually. I've beaten this game multiple times, but I want to get reacquainted with it and try to eventually go for a 10-star run. So this is not going to be one that you want to watch if you actually want to see the story and everything in it. I'm just going through the game for fun, basically, and I figured if I'm going to play through it, why not do it for the channel? So if that sounds like something you want to see, stick around. Otherwise, go ahead and watch another blind playthrough of somebody who has never experienced the game before. That way you can kind of experience it for the first time, or go and play it yourself. There is a copy on GOG that you can buy for relatively cheap, and it emulates pretty well too. I have it on GOG, but I'm emulating the PS2 version on PCSX2, and it runs pretty great. So, yeah, just go ahead and go to another playthrough if you want to see, you know, the full story and everything, because that's not really what I do here on this playthrough anyway. I might do a playthrough in the future where I actually sit down and re-experience all the story, but I kind of just watched this game multiple times today, so I don't really feel like watching all the cutscenes again, but I do feel like playing it, so that's why I'm doing this. One thing I find weird is at the beginning of the game, instead of doing a bunch of tutorials, like regular tutorials, this game has something weird where it's like you wake up, you immediately have to look at your phone. When you get close to a window, you have to look out the window. And I don't really like the way they handled that. This game does not tutorialize very well, but they tried. Like when you go in here, you have to look in the chest. And I wish there was a more elegant way that they could have done that. So. And I am not going for a 10-star rank this run, of course. I'm playing on normal. I just want to get more used to the map layouts. So I'm just going to go through and beat each world as quickly as possible and kind of fill things out for a future run for a 10-star. I'm probably going to start recording all of my run-throughs of these games, actually, so it's just more stuff for the channel. I've beaten Silent Hill 1 probably 20 times. 20 to 30 times. I've beaten this one more like 5. So it's one that I'm a little more rusty on. But again, I've never played this one as much as 1, 2, or 3, so I want to get more reacquainted with it and better at it, so to speak. Now, what's interesting for Silent Hill 4 is this was actually my reintroduction to the series. So when I was 7 years old, I played Silent Hill 1. We basically borrowed it from somebody. I played it, or my brother and sister played it for a little bit, and we got to the elementary school, and when you get to the nightmare version of the elementary school, that scared me so bad as a 6 or 7-year-old that my parents took it away and gave it back to the guy that we borrowed it from. And basically from then until Silent Hill 4 released, I had always heard about the games coming out, but I never really looked at them myself because I was too scared to. And in 2004, I want to say around, what would it have been, October, we got a disc in the mail from PlayStation Underground. If you don't know what PlayStation Underground is, it was something that Sony used to do where you could send in a little postcard and they would send you stuff like magazines or demo discs. So what happened was we got a demo disc in the mail, and one of the demos on it was Silent Hill 4. So after playing that demo, I really liked it, so I went out and bought Silent Hill 2 at the beginning of November. Ended up finishing it on Thanksgiving Day of 2004, and then for Christmas of 2004, I actually got Silent Hill 1, 3, and 4 on Christmas Day. So that was kind of my history with the series. I mean, ever since then, I've basically been a fan, so it's hard to believe it's almost been 20 years since this game came out. Like, crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of these real quick. One thing that I always try to tell new people who play this one is when you're attacking, go ahead and hold down the button a little longer while you're attacking, and watch my meter up there. If I'm just tapping it, that happens. And you see it takes a while to build up your meter. But if you can time it right and you want to do the combo still, you can do that and have a full meter by your third hit. Or if you want to get quicker hits but you still want to fill it up quick, tap for the first two and then hold for the third one. Let me see if I can get it. And then you'll be able to fill up your meter really quick. So like tap, tap, and then right when he does the downswing, hold down, and you're ready for a charge attack right after. So that's something I always try to tell people when they first play the game, because it's really helpful in some fights. Because again, while Silent Hill 4 is terrible at tutorializing things, and I don't know if it was an oversight or a conscious gameplay decision, but you actually have invincibility frames in this game when you do a special attack like that just now. The reason why I didn't get hit was because I was in the middle of my special. So that's something that you can really take advantage of later on. And with the way this game is, the best weapon, bar none, at least for me, is the axe. Because it will allow you to get close to enemies without much of a hassle. And right now I don't care too much about my health, because at the beginning of the game your apartment heals you, so I don't have to worry about health that much. Yet again, that's another thing that this game does not really tell people when you first start playing, that your apartment heals you, but most people notice. But it is something that when you first play the game, you do not want to use any of your health drinks or med kits or anything in the first half. You want to stockpile that for the second half. So I believe that's all I came over here for, was some pistol bullets. Not really worth going all the way out of the way for it, but since this is a casual playthrough and I'm not really looking to get like an amazing time or anything, it'll do. And a little fun fact about this game as well, when it first came out, this was actually a very controversial Silent Hill game. Like, the amount of changes that this has from the others is extensive. If you've never played the series, for one, why are you watching this? But like, a lot of newer Silent Hill fans that got in maybe after PT, you'll often hear people say the first 4 games are the good ones and then the rest kind of suck. Well, back then, when this first came out, like, the fan base was incredibly split on this one. So some people liked it, some people hated it, but it's mainly because all of the gameplay changes were pretty drastic from the others. So, for instance, the first-person camera right here, of course, is something that you don't have in any of the other Silent Hill games. The entire apartment gimmick is completely unique to this game. And I think it's actually really well done. It's something that makes Silent Hill 4 very unique, and I really like it. Silent Hill 4 I actually would place above what most people would. Most people would say 2 is better than 4. I actually like 4 better than 2. It's just like when I rank these games, it's the first one and the third one. For the third one, you have to have the first one for it to be as good as it is because it's a direct sequel, and then 4, and then 2, and then Shattered Memories, and then probably Homecoming, Origins, and then Downpour. So I actually rank Silent Hill 4 pretty highly. I like this game a lot. Now that's probably because it's what got me back into the series. So like that might be a little bit unfair, but I actually think Silent Hill 4 pulls off what it sets out to do really well. The rough spots of the game, while they are there, I don't think they're as bad as some people say. Like the escorting Eileen in the second half of the game can get frustrating, but I actually think she's really good at helping you in combat, and the fact that she can't die by regular means, like, you don't have to worry about her nearly as much as other characters in other games. Especially if you know how the last boss fight goes. So, again, spoiler warning, if anybody's here that hasn't played this game before, go ahead and leave the video, because I'm going to be spoiling things left and right. At the end of the game, Eileen will walk to her death, basically, and it takes a while for her to get there if you take care of her, but if you don't take care of her and let her get hit by enemies and stuff, like, she will walk pretty damn fast. And so long as you know what you're doing, you can usually get through the last boss fight, but you basically have to speed run it if you don't take care of Eileen. So I think that was kind of a clever way to work in an escort mission, and I don't even think it's really that tedious. So a lot of people that say the escorting is terrible, I don't necessarily agree. And then the second half of the game being kind of a repeat of the first half where you go through the same areas again, I think there's enough of a change to where the areas aren't that bad, but that's just me. So I will say Silent Hill 4 seems a lot longer than the others. Like, this game feels a lot longer than the other ones because of the way it's structured. Even though you can still beat it in the same amount of times that you can beat the others, I always thought Silent Hill 4 just felt longer. So, I don't know this little train puzzle, like, maze that well. It's one thing that I've always wanted to learn to get down, like, properly every time. Because I always go for that one right there, and you're not supposed to, so. Something I really need to keep in mind when I'm gonna do a more proper playthrough. I will say another thing that's kind of weird is I never found this Silent Hill particularly scary as a kid. Because I played this when I was, what, like 12 or 13? I used to not find this game scary in the slightest. I don't know what it is about getting older, but this game gets to me a lot more now than it used to. Like, this game really makes me feel creeped out if I'm playing it by myself at night like I am now. There's some parts that do get me. But, yeah, it's kind of weird that when I was a kid that wasn't the case. But now there's something about it that I just find a lot more unsettling. And I think it's because when you're a kid, you don't really think about the safety of your own home nearly as much as you do when you're an adult. Because you always have your parents there or a parent there to take care of you. But there's just something about, like, the apartment and it slowly getting corrupted and the only safe haven becoming not so safe and creepy There's something about that that just gets to me a lot more now than it ever did when I was little. So that's kind of an interesting fun fact about me is Silent Hill 4 used to not creep me out, and now it very much does. But yeah, I guess you could kind of consider this like a 20th anniversary playthrough. Because it's been almost right at 20 years since I first played this. The absolute most, like, the worst part. Oh my god, I hate this. I don't know what it is about this section, but I can never seem to get through it right. And the method that I've always used was to shoot them and run. Other one, Henry. Thank you. Another little known fact that most people don't know is I believe you can press in R3 when you're targeting something to get him to target the other one. Like that. Oh my god, Henry. It's always embarrassing when I die at this part. And honestly, this is the only part that gets me, like, very anxious to do a 10-star run. Is that one little section right there, because they hit a lot harder on the hardest difficulty. And you end up having to go through those escalators 3 times. So we are nearing the end of the subway world. I hope you've enjoyed this video if you stuck around this far, because I'm going to try to chop it up with each world a separate video. So after I'm done with Subway World, which this is the end of it right here, I'm going to save, and then I will cut off the video, and we will pick up the next day. I probably record these like all in one go, or several of them in one go, and upload them, schedule them to release every day or something. I don't know if I'm going to complete this game in like one large chunk, so I might not have a part up like every day until the game is complete, but I will try to get this one done as soon as possible. So that was the Subway World. Next up is the Forest World. If you've liked this video, go ahead and like the video. Leave a comment. Do you like Silent Hill 4? What's your favorite Silent Hill? Let me know all of that stuff. And then if you dislike the video, go ahead and dislike the video, but tell me why you disliked the video. Was it the way I was talking? Is it the way I'm playing? Just let me know. That way I can improve the videos for everybody in the future. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more gameplay videos of this game and other games. I do a lot of Mario Builder 64, and then I occasionally do opinions and commentary on current gaming topics. And that's about all. I will see you guys in the next video.